Hello there, YouTube. My name is Jacob, and as always, here at the CSR2 is where you want to be. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the second part to my What is Live Racing series. Yes, we're getting that super duper important concept completed, finished with this video today. I'm very excited to share this information with you, very excited to go through with this with you. If you are excited too, and you're excited for more here at the CSR2 on CSR2 or even some of the Pokemon content that I do, please consider subscribing to this channel, hitting that bell icon, switching them notifications to all so you don't ever miss out on a video. Please leave a like if this video or the previous one as well has been helpful to you, allowed you to better understand live racing and give you some tips and ideas on how to do things like being able to drop a car, find a lobby, this and that. And without further ado, we're going to get straight to it. Here we go. So, off screen, I have completely undropped this car. And I also managed to get a whole lot more fusion parts, stage 6 parts, stage 5 parts, a whole bunch of stuff. I have almost every single green fusion but one. I have 27 out of 43 blues and 12 out of 41 pinks or reds, whichever one you call them. Quite a bit of stuff in this car now, so I can fully display when this car makes the maximum amount of RP, this is really what I want to get to, is a higher lobby that is going to have a bit more of veterans and people that aren't really running the most crazy, insane stuff. I want to be able to just go in there and get it done. Now, obviously, the 13-second lobby would be considered the preferred lobby since there's so many newer players that are going to be in there. You're not really going to see players that have beaten Shax and claimed his car yet. So that's certainly going to be your lobby, your go-to lobby. Now, I have personally found in my experience that with a properly dropped car like my various other cars that I have, including the Ferrari Enzo, which I'm very, very excited to do a lot more content on that car on this channel, since it is my absolute favorite car of all time in CSR2 and just in life in general. It really is a special car, and I'm really grateful and fortunate to be able to have that car back thanks to my account being restored. But needless to say, let's get into the meat of this video. We want to see this car get some work in. We want to see how do I drop a car and all of that sort of good stuff. So here we go. Let's do it. First, I'm just going to do a bit of a drive with this car. Now, this is not the most perfect run to be able to beat Dino and that sort of thing. 266 on a 279. So it's beating Dino by a little bit with that run, and that's basically what we want. We don't really want to be going too crazy. We want to just have a nice little shift pattern that we can easily shift down at the end. But without further ado, we're going to get into it. So, when I go to drop a car, and let's say it's my first car, the first thing, well, they're gone. If I have the opportunity to, I'm always going to try to race against the computers, the bots, the this and that. And what I'm going to try to do is race as many of them as I possibly can to try to get a feel for what the lobby time is. What is the computer running? Because if you're trying to figure out what the various different players are running, it can be a bit difficult. Now, certainly, I am going to try to showcase that in this video so that you can see my specific tips for doing that as well. It looks like I am not able to find a single person with these settings. Now, you're going to see this happen sometimes where you go into live racing and you just really can't find much of anything. So this is certainly going to be a helpful little tidbit here. what I'm going to do, I have all of this wiggle room here with the 1161 Evo. I'm going to pop this for this specific car. I'm going to pull that nitrous way back because it is going to help me to actually beat Dino and that sort of thing. And I'm just going to pull it about a tenth back roughly, see if anything else changes with the lobby. If nothing else changed in the lobby, I know first and foremost that between 10.2 and 10.3, I am in the same lobby. And this is something that is certainly helpful for CSR2. You want to be able to know what lobby you are in so that you can set up your car. As we go through this whole tutorial here on how to drop a car and set it up and everything like that, it is important to be able to figure out what lobby you're in. Obviously, I cannot seem to find a different lobby, so somewhere between 10.2 to 10.4, it is almost identical. So now, since we've got some extra breathing room, we're going to pull it down to 10.5, and we're going to see if we can't get something different there. So basically, just dropping it or moving it up or down by a tenth, and there we go. Now we are finding some people. Now it looks like they're leaving, which is certainly sad. We don't want to see that. We want to see them racing us. But needless to say, hopefully it's going to... Alright, we've got this guy. NSXR, we know that this car is a real dangerous car in live racing. I'm going to turn the volume up here, so be mindful of that. Now, the reason why I ran as hard as I did there on that one, I was actually trying to beat Dino with that run, is I wanted to see how hard I could push this car. So we are currently sitting on a 10.5 Dino. He just ran a 10.314. Now, as we know, NSXR, low performance point, high evo, he can do that all day long and never ever get bumped. So that's certainly not the most optimal lobby that we want to see. Now we're going to just keep dropping this down, and what we're going to do at this point is we're going to just pull this thing down to what is going to be 1,000 evo, roughly 11.595, and we're hoping that getting it as close to 11.6 as we can without dropping below 1,000 evo is going to help us out. So here we go. Oh, and we had a bot, and it was immediately gone. So it looks like right now we're just having some difficulty with CSR2 and the lobbies, especially with all the new updates and everything like that. It's certainly becoming difficult to find cars sometimes. So now, if you're not able to get anything special out of that, then what you're going to do is you're going to hope that you have more than one stage 6 part, and I do. I'm going to take that intake stage 6 part off, and as you saw there, I just gained a whole bunch more evo now to start playing with. So we are at 10.674 at the moment, so that's another 10th dropped on the car. And here we go. So we've got some cars here to race. Beautiful. Let's do it. Here we go. Again, the dyno is at 10.674. We're going to purposely try to actually beat our dyno because we want to see where this guy is. Now, obviously, he was definitely pulling back on that run because you could see how much he was decelerating. So 11.043, definitely not what that person can run max in this lobby, since we've got a 10.6 dyno. We're gonna wait for the next player to race us or for a bot to show up, since we did find a lobby that has cars. Alright, here we go. We got another one again. I think it's probably the same guy, so no big deal. Let's do it. Let's race again, absolutely. This time I am not going to let off the gas. I want to see how much he actually runs. So there, I let off at the end to basically kind of push him and nudge him and say, hey, let's go. 10.859. Now, what this most likely means is that I have found the top of this lobby, because right now I do not think that this car is dropped. And what I mean by the top of the lobby is that I have found the 10.62 or yeah, 10.6 to 10.9-ish lobby, which is why he's running about a 10.8. We're going to race him one more time, and this time we are not going to downshift too much. We're going to just let it roll. We're going to see how much we actually beat him by, and then we're going to move on from there. And then we're also going to gauge if he'll race us, which doesn't look like he or she is doing at this point. We were going to try to gauge how much RP we are earning. There we go. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Let's get it. This time we are going to purposely win this race and see where we're at. And this is the kind of testing that I do when I'm going to use a car that has not been used in live racing yet. I really do try to run whatever the setting is to be able to beat Dino, and then I downshift and reshift at the end as needed. Okay, so we are still earning 1449 respect points in live racing, which means we're still at that sweet spot where we get the maximum amount of RP for an Elite Tier 5 Golden Star car with one Stage 6 part. So 10.876, that is below our dyno, so that's certainly good. Now this is an NSXR, so most likely we are going to lose to this guy, but what we're going to do here, because we want to see what he actually runs, we are going to purposefully try our best to beat Dino until the very end, so that he or she does not have enough time to let off the gas so that we can find out what they are running. Alright, 10.569 and a 10.6 lobby. That is certainly doable. That is certainly manageable. So again, it probably means that what has happened is that we are in a lobby where we are at the top of the lobby. Now what we're going to do now, because we know we are approximately at the top of the lobby, and this is how you figure out where to go for being able to start working on your car campaign, is we want to know where the exact height of that lobby is. We want to figure out the exact cutoff where, okay, we can't get into this lobby anymore, we're putting it to a too high lobby. So again, another 10.5 from an NSXR when we've got a 10.672 dyno. So now, when we come back in here, we are going to pull that forward. Let's see, 10.564, nope, that's going to be too much. Let's do 10.630, if we can find it. 634, let's get it a little bit closer. 629, 632, there we go. That's perfect. And the reason why I'm doing that is you've got... Alright, so as you see, we have not hit the exact top of the lobby. We are still in the exact same lobby, even though we increased by 0.4. And the reason why I did 0.4 instead of 0.5 is because, typically speaking, if you're going to jump 0.5, if you're on the cusp of what it is, like we're going to put this on 10.622, if we are on the cusp, it will bump us up to the next lobby if we're on the cusp. If we're not on the cusp, then we are gonna, yep, still be in here. Okay, so again, we've not found what the exact top of the lobby is, and this is what we want to do. Before we even start in our drop the car campaign, we want to find where is the threshold at which point the car is going to go to the next lobby. So what we're going to do is put it at 10.602, right beneath 10.601. We're still in the lobby. All right, so we've still not found it yet, but we are certainly getting closer. If I had to guess, if we put it in at 10.588, there it is, we are more than probably going to get moved up. And voila, there we go. So we got moved up to the next lobby, just like that. So now that we know a 10.588 gets us out of the lobby, and a 10.602 puts us in the lobby, we're going to basically pull it back and try to find a number in between the two where we move up or down one, we are going to a different lobby. 10.596, clearly, we're still in the same upper lobby there. We want that lower lobby that we were previously at, since we had such a good advantage in that lobby. We were able to do quite well in that one. 10.598, 10.6. We're going to do a 10.6 on the dot. Let's see if that is going to drop us down to the next lobby or keep us in the same one. It keeps us in the same one. So it looks like right now 10.6 is the official cutoff for this lobby. So if we can get to 10.601, that would be optimal. That's 10.591, 10.99, 594, 596, 598, 599, 601. There it is. So sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to mess around between your transmission and your tires and your nitrous to find that 1.001 to see where that lobby really is. And there it is. We are now back into the lobby we were in before. So we have found that 10.601 is the absolute maximum cutoff for this lobby. So we are going to stay right there at 10.601. And we're just going to ride it out. Considering that we were going to absolutely blast past that person there, we clearly have the lobby advantage with the low performance point and over 1,000 evo that we have. This person is probably running either a higher performance points with less evo, or they are simply just they've either bumped their car or their tune is not where they want it to be. Now we're going to race this person again, and what we're going to do here is we're going to use my little technique where I'm going to basically try to stay with them for as long as I can and really try to push them, see what they are actually running. Here we go. I'm not going to actually beat Dino, I'm just going to run nice and clean. And downshift right there at the end, showcase that I'm slowing down so that they try to speed up. And it looks like this person is running an 11.045, and again, we have a 10.601 dyno. So we've either done one of two things at this point. We've used the fact that we have lower performance points than all of the people in this lobby to gain a lobby advantage, which is why we use lower performance anyway. Or we have completely dropped the car at this point, just from that little bit of racing. And that sometimes does happen. If I have been racing on this and losing quite a bit, eventually the game is going to want to put me in a more favorable lobby. I'm sorry about the screen freezing out. I'm not really sure why it keeps doing that. But yeah, there again, we absolutely torched this guy. So at this point, yeah, 10.807 on a 10.601 dyno. So we've found a lobby that we are 100% competitive in. Now, what the key is at this point, is to be able to drop the car the next lobby. Because since we know that we are at the absolute top of this lobby, once we move from 10.601 to 10.600, we go up to the next lobby. We want to be in the next lobby beneath us, which is the 10.8. So what we're going to do now to drop the car is we're going to keep losing. I am not going to race that. I'm not really in the mood to give that person 35K. They're a very experienced player having a tier 3 Tempest license. They don't need my money. And they're in an NSXR, which we know to be an absolute live racing monster. Now, here's the question. What does this NSXR run? Because since we know this car ought to be the car to beat in this lobby, we're going to purposely run as absolutely hard as we can. Alright, the fact that we are beating that NSXR tells me right there that either this NSXR is running slowly, it has been bumped, or we have been dropped. Because, as you know, from the previous part, the NSXR is what ended up bumping our car up a lobby and totally undoing the progress that we had made. Now, the fact that he's racing us, or he or she is racing us again, probably means that this individual is trying to see if they can get a bet out of us. That's really what they're after. They're purposely driving poorly to try to get a bet after us. But again, we are winning against an NSXR. So, now that time, okay, 10.607, 10.601. We were using 100% our lobby advantage to be able to take that win. However, that was not good because we basically ran exactly on the dot what our dyno is. Now, the fact that they immediately left out of the lobby tells me they probably just got bumped. So we need to do some real hard, fast work of losing the next races horribly, because if they're getting bumped, we're about to get bumped since we just beat them. So I am not going to use nitrous at all. Once I get into 7th gear, I'm going to go all the way down to 1st. And part of that is to see what this person was running, 10.694. So, again, this is not incredibly insane run for the dyno time that we have. Alright, so it looks like they're back. So maybe they didn't get bumped, but regardless, the fact that we beat them in a 10.8 lobby is what it appears to be. We do not want to win any more races at all, because if we win any more races, we are 100% going to be bumped. And we do not want to leave the lobby either, because once we leave the lobby, what's going to happen is CSR2 is going to say, okay, you've been winning, you've been beating the dyno time of everybody else, time for you to go up to the next lobby. And that is what we don't want. We want the exact opposite. The whole goal of this video is to drop the car, not bump the car. So we're going to race this person again, and we'll take the bet, fine. 5,000, I'm not too concerned about 5,000. Sure, they're going to get the money, but what we're going to do here is we're going to just downshift and reshift between 2nd and 3rd gear. We're going to actually use our nitrous so that the game thinks that we're not terrible, and then once they get across the line, then we start racing for real. This is a tactic of bumping or dropping a car in live racing. You go through, you find when the car gets past the finish line, you find a spot on your car where you can downshift and reshift easily so that you can basically make some extra cash. I was supposed to lose 5,000 cash there, but I only lost 2,000 because of how much cash I was making from the downshifting and reshifting of the car in those perfect shifts. So, we want to do more than just one race on that kind of run, because otherwise we are going to be bumped. Since we are at the top of the lobby, we are certainly doing better off than we could be. If our dyno was not 10.601 and we ran above our dyno, we 100% would be dealing with some difficulties. I am going to race this person again because I need to get another race in, and fine, take the 10,000. I'm not too concerned about it. The whole point of this video is to showcase how to drop a car in live racing and make sure that it doesn't get bumped in the process. So here we go. Again, doing my perfect shifts until they get across the finish line. Alright, I messed up, so here we're going to just downshift again. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to get one more race out of this person. We did not get it, unfortunately. But the good news is that it looks like we've got some added company, which is great. That will allow us to race somebody else, hopefully, that will allow us to lose one more race. Typically speaking, you want to lose at least 3 races. So they're going to race us again. Awesome, awesome. I think they've figured out the fact that we are just trying to drop the car at this point, and that's why they didn't bet us this time. And they're realizing that since we're trying to drop our car, they can come in here and get the wins, get the keys, get the RP, get whatever they need, get the cash, without having to beat their dyno, and they're kind of just at this point going to say, thank you very much. I would be very surprised if they refuse us this time when we hit it, since they now know that we are just trying to drop our car. If they bet us, then so be it. We'll have to just refuse and move on. Alright, well, they are betting us 15,000. So be it. I'll let you take it. No big deal. I'll come back later and I'll take 200k back from you on my Ferrari Enzo. So it really doesn't matter too much to me. I can make the money back, no issue. There we go. So one last time we're going to let it run. And this time, since this is the last run, we are actually going to just keep perfect shifting all the way until the end, because that is the run that we want the computer to remember. We don't want the computer to remember anything other than that absolutely miserable, pitiful 17.669 run. And now we're going to jump out of the lobby. Now, since I'm about to run out of gas, I am going to just go ahead and purchase some gas real quick here so that we can continue on with our discussion. Now, again, remember, our dyno says 10.601. We've been able to beat a whole bunch of cars. Without really having to beat dyno, we were able to run exactly spot on dyno and win. Now, let's see if we're in the same lobby or in the lobby that we were jumping into before. Okay, we've got bots. So this is a great thing to see. We want to know what is the approximate runtime of a computer that we're up against. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to absolutely torch this run against the computer. We do not want to get even remotely close to what we can run, because now that we're against the computer, against the bot, the live racing machine, the way that they run matchmaking, it takes a serious precedent of losing to this than it does losing to another player. So we made 2,463 from all of those many perfect shifts. 18,187 against a computer. That's certainly going to help us out. Now, as you can see, we have nobody. Alright, we have our first person in the lobby. Now the question is, have we bumped the car or have we dropped the car? Since, as we saw earlier, when we had the car bumped up in the way upper lobbies, there were no more cars left to race. And the car and the lobby above us had plenty of cars for a time. So we purposely, we're gonna win that race. We purposely lose because we want to see what they are running. 10.950. That tells us we are probably doing really, really nicely. Considering it's a 10.9, we've been seeing 10.8s. What that almost certainly means is that this lobby is either somebody who purposely ran slower, so this time we're going to actually try to win this race a little bit more competitively, see if we can't push them to what their maximum is. Here we go. Not going to beat Dino, but we're just going to run a little bit stronger. So what is it that they ran? Okay, they ran a 10.932 again. So either they are purposefully downshifting a lot at the end, or we've got ourselves what's known as a mini drop. So a mini drop is when you see a tenth rather than 2/10 or 3/10 of a second that has changed in the cars that we are running against. So clearly we're not getting too many people here in this one at this point. Now we know that once we move up from 10.601 to 10.600, it jumps us up to a different lobby where there are way more cars. So at this point, what we're now going to do is we want to check and see, okay, where are we at? Are we in a 10.6? Are we in a 10.8? Are we in a 10.9? Are we someplace completely different? So here we go. 10.599. That will work perfectly fine. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Yeah, so here we go. Let's see. What are we in now? Okay. We were previously racing against these people, so we know right off the bat we've dropped the car. That is exactly what this video was about, was figuring out that we dropped the car, because we went from having this lobby before, we lost a bunch of races, we lost against computers, we lost horribly bad. We're going to lose horribly bad again because that's what we want to do. And just like that, we have successfully dropped our car in CSR2. Because 10.557 from a NSXR on a 10.601 dyno says we are in a lobby that is to our advantage. Now we're going to put it back down to 10.601 right there. Boom. Here we go. And we're going to check and see where we end up. What are we landing? And basically what we're doing with that is we're looking to see, okay, are there new people in this lobby that we can now judge what this lobby really runs like? And sure enough, we have exactly that. And sometimes you just need to jump in and out of CSR2 to find more people. Now, the fact that you noticed that guy that was over there was from the same lobby. Alright, this tells me that these lobbies are starting to merge with one another. They are not two separate lobbies. So, what that means is that we've got somewhere in the 10.601, 10.602, the two lobbies are running so similar now that what was previously an upper lobby and a lower lobby have now merged with one another. So what we want to find is, where did that lower lobby go? We don't want to find the upper lobby. We're not interested in the upper lobby. We want to be in a position where we can win every single race without getting close to Dyno. We want to be able to win every race by running 2/10 under Dyno. Now obviously this person slowed way down because we slowed way down. No big deal. We're now going to jump out of here, since that is another 10.8 roughly lobby, and we're going to put this down to 10.612. Since 10.601 is what the cutoff used to be, we're going to put it 0.10 below and see what happens. Okay, as you can see now, we are in the exact same lobby. So, now that we know that the lobbies have merged, what we want to figure out is if we can get into the lobby way up here, what lobby can we get at 10.588, which we discussed earlier on in this video. And again, these are the steps that I legitimately take. I'm not just doing this to show. This is what I, honest to goodness, do every single time that I try to figure out, okay, have I dropped a car in live? Now, we are dealing with an NSXR, and we saw the same exact NSXR that we saw before. So what's happened is there are so few cars that the lobbies are starting to mesh and merge together with one another. So after this race, after we do poorly in this race, what I want to see is where is the next lobby. Now, the other thing that's rather interesting is that because we know, for a matter of fact, when we were racing against that one Supra that one time, that it was running a 10.9 all of a sudden, it is more than likely that what's happened is we've done a mini drop. And what happens occasionally when you do a mini drop in CSR2, in live racing, is that all of a sudden now, what your limit is for being able to get into the lobby has completely changed. So we are going to put this up to 10.550, approximately somewhere in here. 553, 550, perfect, okay. And what we want to look at is, okay, are we still in the same lobby now? That's what we want to find out. We are not. We are up against one of my favorite cars of all time in CSR2, the F50. That's clearly not the same lobby. Okay, so now we're going to race this person. We want to see, what are they running? What is this lobby's time? And as you can see, this person is way gone. We could have only barely gotten there. And we don't want to barely get there. We want to beat a person by being able to run at 10.7. They ran a 10.541, so there's no chance at all of us being able to do much of anything in this lobby. This is obviously the next lobby up, where it's a 10.3 cutoff. So now, we need to find, since we have mini dropped the car, where is the new limit for the lobby, so that we can then be able to continue to fully drop the car. Because what we want to be able to do is continue onward. Okay, so we found the other car. We found the other car at 10.577. This is one of the NSXRs we've been racing multiple times. And we're going to, of course, lose miserably bad to this person right here. We know what they've been running. They've been running 10.58s. They can probably run 10.4s if they really push their car. We're not going to make them push. We're just going to go right in here. Get some extra cash from losing this race, purposely drop a really big fat 17, 18, 19 second burger on them. And yeah, 10.765, we know that they can run probably about a 10.4. Okay, we are back to square one. Now, we want to find what is the full and true start to this lobby. We're going to go for 569. I'm going to try that and see how that goes. Pardon me, I have a cough coming. I think I've got something in my throat or something. Okay, this is still the same people that we've been seeing over and over and over again. But the fact that it changed some of the people means that what you're dealing with is two different lobbies that are in roughly the same dyno limits. So they're between the 10.8 and the 10.6, and then you see how all it took was just moving that a little bit down, and now we're in this one. So what we want to find is, where is the exact limit for this one, and then as we continue to lose, to continue to push that limit down further and further until we can get a full-blown 2/10 extra. Alright, we pushed them there on purpose until the very end to see what they're running. 10.7 still. So, not bad. We're going to go back in. We're going to go to our dyno. We've got a 10.578. 10.576. Nah, I don't think so. 10.573. Yeah, I want to round a roughly 10.574 since we know that 10.577 gets us down to the bottom and 10.569 moves us up. Let's see. Did we get back into the same lobby? Alright, we had a bot. Unfortunately, we weren't able to click on it. But this is a Lamborghini Countach. This car has a very, very weird shift pattern. It takes a lot to be able to get to the point where you can get it. If you have not eluded this car in live, and you have the opportunity to, do it. If you know how to drive it, it's a dyno-destroying machine. We're going to purposely lose that one, even though we very easily could have won it. Because what we want is for this person to race us again, and we want them to push. We want to see, okay, where are we really? Are we really in a 12.1 lobby? I seriously doubt it. And they're gone. So, now, we're going to jump out. And what may have happened is, right now, we may officially have just dropped the car, just from jumping in and out and trying to find where the lobby limit is. Okay, nope. We are still back to square one. Now, this is another live racing monster. So, if we can stack up with this car, we're doing pretty good. And we want to be able to beat this car under 2/10 of a second. And that's basically what you want on average, at the very least, to be able to start being able to be competitive. Because once you get above 0.2 seconds, you start getting to a territory where CSR2 just simply wants to bump you every single time. So here we are. Let's see. 10.553. Yeah, so we're still not exactly where we want to be, but the good news is that we found where that lobby is. So what we're going to do now, 573, 571. Because we know when we got to 569, it jumped us up. Okay, we are still here. I think these are from the same crew, if I had to guess, since they're in the same identical car, and we'll see. Let's see if they'll race us. Or maybe we just got lucky and we just see two of these Mazdas. Nope, as I thought, they are probably from, pardon me, excuse me, a family group of crews. So now, we're going to figure out, again, since we were able to find those guys there, we're going to push the car a little bit more, up to 569. And now we're going to see what happens, because if 569 doesn't move us up, then once again, we continue to keep pushing the car down, because as you saw earlier, 569 pushed us up. And sure enough, sorry about my throat, not really sure why I'm dealing with stuff. I can probably go get some water and solve that, but I don't want to take away from this. Let's go to 10.550. We used that one earlier. 551, we'll take it. Perfect, fine. Let's see, where is the top of the lobby now? Alright, so we are still back in this one. So they are relatively the same. So that tells me we are getting closer and closer and closer with each race to having this car be completely dropped. So we're going to put it to 10.4 now. 10.42? Perfect. Sounds great. Alright, we got that extra gas pip, so we are going to buy some more gas. Looks like all of my devices are wanting to die on me today. So, no worries, I always come prepared, have them both ready to plug in. We are good to go. Alright, let's see. Does 5.552, alright, and sure it does. It still moves us up. We're going to race this person, and we're going to see what they run. I'm going to assume that they probably run way faster than us. Well, I buried the needle on that one, so... You can hear from the sound of their engine that they slowed down when you hear that humming sound. 10.637, so they definitely were able to run probably more like a 10.3. Excuse me again. And they just purposely slowed down. Wow, you don't see that every day. A fully Elite Tuners upgraded Plymouth Cuda. Very cool car. This is another car that will beat Dino because it's a Legends car and is one of the preferred cars for Elite Time Trials. I mean, look at that. He is just absolutely gone. No chance. And that's basically what we want. We want to keep losing races like these where it's just absolutely abysmal. Now, we've got a bot here. This is perfect. We know what the bot ran down in the lower lobby. Let's see what this one runs here. Oh, I keep burying the needle on that shift there. Ay, ay, ay. Now you see how much slower that bot was there? That was incredibly slow. It is the exact same time that we were seeing previously. This, to me, indicates we have indeed dropped the car, because we were seeing a 12-second. Now, since we just ran that time against that bot there, we actually did end up beating the bot. We're going to pull this down to 10.551. Yeah, 10.551. Then go into live racing. And you see at this point, it just basically becomes a monotonous cycle. You go in, you find what people are running, you race against them, you see what it stacks up to, what compared to what you were running previously, what you want to run, and excuse me again, since we want to be able to run, we have a 10.5 dyno, we want a 5.57 approximately, 10.55. We want to be able to run 10.75s and still be able to beat everybody in the lobby. So there you have 10.667. So I think this is probably an upper lobby, and we want to find that lower lobby because you've got two of them that are meshing with one another. Now sometimes you'll see this, and I'm glad that I showcased this error. I was not able to get my nitrous to go down, so I hit the plus button instead, and now I'm going to be able to, well, looks like it's just not wanting to work at all today. Alright, well, we're going to put it on 10.555. Sometimes that will work. If you hit the plus button when you can't hit the minus, it will reset it, it will fix it, and it will make it so you can do that. Alright, there we go. There is the lobby that we want to see, and we're going to race this person here. We're going to race them clean, we're going to race them good, and we're going to see, have we successfully dropped our car for real? We would have probably beaten Dino there in order to take that win. So let's see what that was. Well, no. 10 point 795. So yeah, we have officially done it. We have dropped our car at this point because we're able to go to the lobby above, and all of a sudden it's everybody's running our dyno time, and then when we go to the lobby below, everybody is running 2/10 below our dyno time, which is exactly what we want as our margin. Now, one of the biggest things that I personally like to do is I don't want a 0.2 margin. That doesn't interest me because 0.2 margin doesn't really give you a whole lot of room if the other person decides they want to start beating dyno. So what I want the 0.4 margin. So the question now becomes, okay, we've got this car in this 10.7 roughly lobby-ish. Excuse me again. How do I get it down to a 10.9? And the simple answer is rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. We go through the same process that I've documented already throughout this video. You go in, you see where the top of the lobby is, where the bottom lobby is, you're consistently losing, you're trying to figure out approximately where the cars are in your lobby, and then you just start jumping between different lobbies as you are losing, trying to find where is that maximum cutoff, and you just keep doing it and keep adjusting it until you get to the place where you can comfortably beat every single car by not 0.2 but 0.4. Now obviously once you get to where you're trying to get 0.4 it becomes a little bit complicated because now it's not about what your dyno is, it's about getting 0.2 below what your dyno is. And being able to add 0.2 onto that. So there we ran a 10.882 and they ran a 10.990. So again, we have found the lobby that we wanted to find in terms of being able to drop the car. And now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, I want to get to that 0.4 lobby. The simplest and easiest way to do it is to have bots, to have computers, to have something to come along and just race really poorly so I can lose a lot of races on quite poor settings, running very slowly, and being able to get that car into that next lobby. So what I'm going to do here now that I know I'm dropped, now that I know I have found a lobby that works very nicely for me, people are betting some money, which is good because that's basically a little bit of what you want to be able to do every now and then. If you need that leverage because somebody bet you, you want to be able to have it. And you can't have it if your car isn't 0.4 underneath. So there we are. Ran at 10 or 20 point whatever on a 10.7. Now we're going to leave because we did a whole massive poor loss burger there for them. Again, as a reminder, our dyno says 10.555. We have not had to beat our dyno once or even come close to beating our dyno once. We're getting most of our runs to be way below it. Now, you see that? New lobby. This almost definitely means we have dropped the car again. Now, it's not a guaranteed confirm. It may be only a mini drop like it was before. So we are going to try to find somebody to race us. Please, somebody. And if they run an 11.1 here, then we know that we have dropped the car twice and we've gotten to the perfect predicament that we want. And again, we're going to run like we're beating dyno because we want to push them. And since we bet, there's also another extra high stakes on there. So 10.890 on a 10.933. Now, most of our wins have been 10.7s. That is our first win with a 10.9. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever else you identify as, We did it. We have dropped the car twice in live, such that we now can drive 0.4 tenths below what our dyno time says and still be able to beat everybody in the lobby without any significant issue. And you saw I bet 15,000, so that person had every right to try to pull it off, to try to push hard, try to win that race, and they still ran a 10.9. So that tells me that their dyno is probably at 11.1, which is exactly what we want. We want to have as much leverage as we can squeeze. Now, we want to race this person right here, and the reason why that is this is a live racer. The NSX, LBNSX, all of them are some serious live racers, and you can tell it by the fact that, yeah, he or she is more than willing to bet me. And what we want to do is we want to see what is the real live racer in the lobby running, because if they're running a 10.7, we know we've really done it at that point. So we're going to race like we want to beat Dyno, because we want them to push. Now, we won that one. Let's see, what did we win with? 10.664 on a 10.555 dyno against a car that beats dyno by about 3/10. Yeah, that is 100% a total signal at this point that we've got ourselves a dropped car. Now, I'm clicking on this NSXR as fast as I can because I know this is also another mega, massive, super important milestone to take a look at. If we can beat this car running 10.9s, 10.7s, this and that, we know we really, really have the ball on it. And we are blowing by that NSXR. We were absolutely gone. So that is absolutely perfect. We have perfected the art of getting it. Look at that, 10.635. I'm sure that they probably can run a 10.5. Now we've got a bot here. We're going to click on it as fast as we can. I'm just spamming it because I want to leave this lobby having raced a bot and lost miserably, because I might be able to actually get this car to drop another lobby. Because we found a bot in the lobby. We already know we are 0.4 since we keep racing the most dedicated live racers of the lobby and having no issue with them. Now again, make sure that you use your nitrous and you do add extra gears on at the end when you're against the bot, because you want them to believe you were running just fine. You're just simply that slow. Now take a look at that, 11.869. Now we've seen 12.0s. So what that means is that was probably a really, really fast bot there. Because we've been racing against a whole bunch of people that are not even running close to what would warrant that kind of a time. So, let's check out and see. Okay, we are still in the same lobby. Now I've got one last pip of gas at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to race... Oh, he's gone. He or she is gone. I'm going to try to race one more race. This is another dyno-destroying car. Perfect to take a look at what this car runs. Perfect. Yes, bet me, so that you are forced to run as hard as you can. That's what we want to see. What will we have to beat in order to be able to bet money and win in this lobby? Now, as you can see, I was accelerating so hard there, I 100% was going to overtake them, pass them, no problem. 10.525, and that is a monster of a car in live racing. That is a beast. So, that is how you drop a car in live. Now, I personally would have gone through, and if I had the gas for it, I would completely drop the car yet another lobby, because I want to be in a spot where my car can run nearly a second under dyno at times and be able to win. My Ferrari Enzo, my Purple Star Enzo that I finally was able to get back from my recovered account. When I race against certain Supras or certain the Shax's Agira R's, which again, if you are into eliting cars, do not elite the Shax's Agira R, do not elite the Toyota Supra. The Supra is extremely important, and the Agira R is no good. But yeah, these are cars that we were racing against that just simply, we were able to do a great job against them with no issue at all. We were able to even be able to bet NSXRs, the Porsches, the various different other cars that we were seeing in those lobbies, and still be able to come out on top. But yeah, my Ferrari Enzo, for all intended purposes, it can run a 12.1, 12.2 on an 11.387 and still win at times, and that is really what I want. If you can do that, you've got your car so dropped at that point that even if you do start to beat dyno, or I mean, you beat what the other people are running when they're beating dyno, you're running so below what your dyno says that CSR2 is not going to be as happy to bump you up a lobby. Now, obviously, this is a much higher performance point setup than the previous car was, and the reason why I'm mentioning that here is because when you have a car, I'm going to actually fill up my gas because obviously this video is wrapping up, but I have plenty more to get to in my own account with my own driving. I've got my keys to go through, my live racing keys to run through. I've got all kinds of other various different stuff. I've been able to get a brand new device that I can put an account on, which is super awesome, so I can go and get that done. But yeah, so needless to say, I'm going to want to be able to drop this car one more time. That's probably what I'm going to do off screen, off camera. But when you have higher performance points, the simple fact is, when you drop a car, CSR2, and you really drop a car hard, and you saw it's really not taking me that long to drop these cars. It's probably been maybe an hour to do the job, get the job done, be able to get it where I'm almost on the cusp of where I want to be. Probably 10 more races and it will be in that exact lobby I want to be in. But having a bit higher performance points is certainly helpful for being able to get into that spot. I would say, typically speaking, the low 10s and the 11s are the sweet spot for performance point Evo, live racing, tier 5 cars. That is where, if you can get a car dropped in that area, anywhere between 12.4 to 10.5, I would say, is 12.4 is the absolute minimum, and 10.5 is the absolute maximum. I would prefer to be more in the range that this car is, or more in the range that my Enzo is. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed me discussing how to get your car dropped in live, please consider subscribing to this channel. Please consider leaving a like on this video. That really helps the channel out. I am going to be doing a third installment, yes, a third installment of sorts on CSR2, where I'm going to be discussing what are swaps, because I'm sure as a newer player, and even as some more experienced players, you may have never been with a crew yet, you may have only just joined a crew, or you may be a new player, you don't have a crew yet. And again, shout out to my crew, Swift Syndicate. They are awesome, they are fantastic. I am the leader of Swift Syndicate 4. If you need a crew to be able to join, please leave it down in the comment section below, and I can get you set up in SS4. We are in dire need of being able to have more players. We are very much so right now a very open crew, since we don't really have any crazy minimums yet. But what I am doing is any members that join SS4 that are able to make 500,000 RP can get moved up to our higher crew SS3, which is where my account is going to be moving forward. But that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. If you're excited for more, make sure that you turn that notifications bell on to all notifications so you never miss out, never, ever, ever miss out on a video. Please leave a like on this video. That really helps. If this was helpful to you, if you learned something, and anything else you want to comment or anything else you want to see, please put it down in that comment section below. I really do appreciate all of the support, all of the likes, all of the comments, all of the things that people want to see, or anything like that. It is greatly appreciated. But without further ado, as always, my name is Jacob, and here at the PNCLCG is where you want to be. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed day.